Today we delve into the life of a man of faith, Elijah, a powerful prophet of God. A figure of great importance, Elijah finds his place in the annals of religious texts, recognized for his unwavering faith and divine miracles. His story is one of courage, one that tells of a prophet who stood against the worship of false gods, risking all in the name of truth and righteousness. Elijah's tale is not just about the strength of his faith, but also about his role as God's messenger. His life was filled with divine interventions, miraculous events, and profound lessons that continue to resonate with us today. From his confrontation with the prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel, to his encounter with the still, small voice of God, Elijah's journey is a testament to the power of faith and the profound ways in which God provides for his servants. Let us journey through the life of this remarkable figure, starting with his confrontation with the false prophets of Baal. One of the most dramatic moments in Elijah's life was his encounter with the prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel. In a time when the people of Israel had turned away from God and were worshiping Baal, a false god, Elijah, a prophet of the true God, dared to challenge the status quo. He presented a contest to the prophets of Baal, a test of faith and power, if you will. On the slopes of Mount Carmel, Elijah stood alone facing 450 prophets of Baal. The challenge was simple. Each side would prepare a bull for sacrifice and call on their respective gods to send fire to consume the offering. The God who answered by fire, Elijah declared, would be proven the true God. The prophets of Baal went first. They called on Baal from morning till noon, dancing around the altar they had made, but there was no response. Elijah, ever the wit, mocked them, suggesting perhaps Baal was deep in thought or busy, or maybe he was away on a journey or asleep. But no matter how much they shouted or cut themselves, as was their custom, there was no answer. No fire came. Then came Elijah's turn. He repaired the altar of the Lord, arranged the wood, cut the bull into pieces, and laid it on the wood. Then he did something unexpected. He had 12 jars of water poured over the offering and the wood, soaking everything, even filling a trench he had dug around the altar. Then Elijah prayed, a simple, heartfelt prayer to the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel. And the fire of the Lord fell. It consumed the burnt offering, the wood, the stones, even the water in the trench. When the people saw this, they fell on their faces and declared, "The Lord, He is God. The Lord, He is God." Elijah's victory over the prophets of Baal marked a significant moment in his journey, but it was far from the end. In a time of severe drought, Elijah was led by God to a widow in the town of Zarephath. During this period of hardship, God's word came to Elijah, instructing him to journey to Zarephath. There, he was told, a widow would provide for him. So, obedient to God's command, Elijah set off for the town. Upon his arrival, he encountered a widow gathering sticks near the town gate. He approached her, asking for a sip of water and a piece of bread. The widow, however, had a heartbreaking tale to share. She revealed that she had only a handful of flour and a little oil left, and she was preparing what she believed would be the last meal for herself and her son before they succumbed to starvation. But Elijah, with the confidence of a man who knew God's power, reassured the widow. He asked her to first make a small cake of bread for him, promising that her flour and oil would not run out until the drought was over. Driven by faith and desperation, the widow did as Elijah instructed, and lo and behold, a miracle occurred. The jar of flour and the jug of oil, despite being used daily, never ran out. They remained filled until the end of the drought, providing plenty of food for Elijah, the widow, and her household. This was no ordinary event. It was a divine intervention, a testament to the widow's faith and a demonstration of Elijah's unwavering trust in God's word. It was a miracle of provision, a clear sign of God's love and care for his children, even in the most challenging circumstances. The story of Elijah and the widow of Zarephath is a powerful reminder of the miraculous ways in which God provides for his servants and those who trust in him. It is a story of faith, obedience, and the extraordinary power of God at work. This miracle demonstrated God's providence and care for his servants and those who trust in him. In a moment of solitude, Elijah had a profound encounter with God, not in the grandeur of natural forces, but in a still, small voice. This encounter is one of the most insightful moments in Elijah's journey, revealing a crucial aspect of spiritual growth. Elijah's experience transpired on a mountain, where he was commanded by God to stand and witness his presence. As the wind roared, splitting mountains and shattering rocks, Elijah might have expected to find God in this display of raw, untamed power. But God was not in the wind. Next came an earthquake, shaking the very foundation of the earth. Yet God was not in the earthquake. Following the quake, a fire blazed, but God was not in the fire either. And then, after the fire, came a still small voice. In the quiet whisper, Elijah found God's presence. This profound moment underscores the importance of quiet, reflective moments in our spiritual journey. It serves as a reminder that God's voice often comes not in the clamor and commotion of life's storms, but in the stillness that follows. We learn from Elijah's encounter that God's guidance is sometimes subtle, requiring us to be still, to listen, and to be attuned to his gentle whispers amidst the noise of our lives. This narrative encourages us to cultivate a quiet space within ourselves, a place of solitude where we can connect with God and listen to his guidance. The story of Elijah and the still small voice is a testament to the transformative power of quiet moments and the profound wisdom that can be discovered within them. It reminds us that in the silence we can hear God's voice most clearly, guiding us along the path he has laid out for us. In the end, Elijah's experience reminds us that God's guidance often comes in the quiet whispers of his voice. As we navigate the complexities of life, may we, like Elijah, find solace and wisdom in the still small voice of God. Elijah's life was a testament to faith, obedience, and the power of God. Elijah was more than just a prophet. He was a man of unshakable faith and unwavering obedience to God. His life was a series of powerful narratives, each one demonstrating his complete trust in God's plan, even when faced with the most challenging circumstances. Let's recall the story of Elijah and the widow of Zarephath, for instance. Amid a severe drought, God directed Elijah to a widow who, by all earthly measures, had nothing to offer. Yet, Elijah approached her with a request that seemed unreasonable: to first make him a small cake of bread before preparing what she thought would be her last meal. But the widow trusted Elijah, and in turn, she trusted God. The result? A miracle. The jar of flour and the jug of oil never ran out, providing sustenance for the widow, her household, and Elijah, until the drought ended. This remarkable narrative illustrates Elijah's faith in God's provision and the miraculous ways in which God rewards those who trust in him. Elijah's encounter with the still, small voice of God on Mount Horeb is another powerful testament to his deep connection with the divine. Amid the chaos of wind, earthquake, and fire, Elijah recognized God not in the grandeur of these natural phenomena, but in a gentle whisper. This encounter teaches us the importance of quietude and attentiveness in seeking God's guidance. Elijah's life was punctuated by miracles, confrontations with false prophets, and profound messages from God. But at its core, his story is one of unwavering faith and obedience. It is a tale of a man who, despite the odds, chose to trust in God, to listen for his voice, and to follow his guidance. Elijah's story continues to inspire believers to this day, encouraging us all to trust in God's provision and guidance. His life serves as a beacon, illuminating the path for those who seek a relationship with God, marked by faith, obedience, and trust. Elijah's journey, filled with faith and miracles, is a powerful example of God's work. His life is a testament to the strength of belief and the divine power of God's providence. From his confrontation with the prophets of Baal on Mount Carmel to his encounter with the widow of Zarephath, Elijah's faith in God never wavered, even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges. His experience with the still, small voice of God reminds us of the importance of stillness and reflection in our own lives. It encourages us to attune ourselves to the subtle whispers of divine guidance amid the noise and tumult of the world. The enduring legacy of Elijah, filled with lessons of courage, faith, and divine intervention, continues to inspire us. It encourages us to trust in God's provision and guidance, knowing that he works in miraculous ways. This video was made possible by Michael Hopkins, founder of Jehovah's House of Saints Homeless Mission. For more inspiring stories and messages, visit us at jehovahsaint.com.